over the weekend, some pictures of me have turned up, doing some rather heinous things. No, I don't mean the weird dab, playing a galaxy. But it's revealed today, as part of the first real reveals for BT22, that we're getting a Terriermon, a Palmon, and a Hagurumon that is going to work somewhat similarly to Galaxy. Terriermon, play cost of 3, 1000 DP, digivolves for a cost of 1 from a green or a yellow, or nothing from a CS traded baby. Your turn must return when this effect places Digimon cards with the CS trait in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. If you have one of your tamers, you may play one tamer card with the CS trait from your hand, but paying the cost. Inherit effect once per turn by placing this CS traded Digimon's top stacked card as the bottom Digivolution card, with Palmon also being a free play cost Digimon with 1000 DP, digivolves from a green or a red level 2 for a cost of 1, or the CS trait for 0. Your turn once per turn. When effects place Digimon cards with the CS trait in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. With the inherited effect of main once per turn by placing a CS traded Digimon's top stack card as its bottom Digivolution card, draw 1. And finally, Hagurumon, play cost of 3, DP 1000, digivolves from a yellow or black baby for a cost of 1, with the CS trait being 0. Your turn once per turn. When effects place Digimon cards with the CS trait in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. Inherited effect once per turn. By placing this CS trait Digimon's top stack card as the bottom Digivolution card, draw 1. With BT22 being revealed yesterday for the first time with its 3 little monsters, today we have Amy Eber. For a play cost of 4, start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. This is mandatory. Your turn, when any of your Digimon digivolve into a Digimon with the CS trait, if it has a Digivolution card with the same level as the digivolved Digimon, by suspending this tamer, that Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the CS trait in hand without paying the cost. With what we know of the CS deck so far, it wouldn't surprise me if Amy is the first card you try to play out when you try to do your looping plays. We know there's more than a baker's dozen left to be revealed, so hopefully we have some cool synergies and combos with his tamers, unlike that Galaxy duo. The Eaters are here. Another one of those 50 card copy decks. Almost we had one of those yesterday. Eaters species form. Play cost of 3, 1000 DP, has blocker, and on play, draw. Although, in my opinion, the positioning of the words seem off to me. Maybe more to draw away from the ominous presence of the floating digital space squid. Inherit effect in the breeding area. Your turn, once per turn, when any of your Digimon cards with the Eater trait would be played, you may reduce the play cost by 1. Having an interesting trait here, similar to all the other unique breeding area decks, like Royal Knights, 7 Grey Demon Lords, and the original Reaper. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Eaters can do for us in the near future. I know we did see the human form not so long ago, as well as this form, but the more we see, the more you're not allowed to know. It must be a day that ends in Y, because here's another Agumon and Gabmon for your eyes. But we knew it was going to happen. This is a Cyber Sleuth set, which means, to be fair, we knew that the Agumon and Gabmon line were going to be making a return. For play cost of 3, 1000 DP, digivolves from a blue or red for 0, or digivolves from a Koromon or a level 2 with the CS trait for a cost of 0. On play, you may return 1 Digimon card with the Greymon, Garurumon, or Omnimon in its name from the trash to the hand. And in colours that are generally known for not being able to recycle from the trash, that's a fairly good effect in a deck that wishes to turbo into Omnimon as many times as fast as possible. And with the help of the inherited effect, end of your turn, this Digimon and any of your other Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in the hand. But, as we saw the Agumon, Gabmon has to turn up too. For a play cost of 3, 1000 DP, may digivolve from either a blue or red level 2 for 0, and then digivolves from a Sudamon or a level 2 with the CS trait for 0. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with the Omnimon in its text and 1 card with the CS trait amongst them to the hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. As the CS trait is the newest trait happening in BT21, it's nice to see that this card can not only grab its other pieces, but also the tamer for the deck that you need to make it work. We can probably guess who the tamer is. End of your turn, this Digimon and any of your other Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in the hand. Again, Omnimon Turbo is alive and real, but with the Omnimon Ace card coming out last year in BT17, this deck may or may not have some more options to it than you might think, as well as knowing that we're going to get options with the Alter S decks from EX9. So, keep your peepers peeping, or Gabmon and Agumon's going to do from day to day. With yesterday's reveals being Agumon and Gabumon, I am a little bit surprised that we did see Nokia today, even though it would make some sense in a world where Bandai doesn't continuously change how they release things. For a play cost of 5, start of your turn, if you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3. Start of your main phase, or on play, if you have 1 or fewer Digimon, you may play one Agumon or a Gabumon from your hand without paying the cost. All turns, all of your Digimon with the Greymon, Garurumon, or Omnimon in their name gain 1000 DP. Security effect, play this card without paying the cost. Traded CS. It is a super rare, so these are going to be a little bit hard to get hold of. But this is a very good card for the deck. Having a memory setter that lets you unplay a card, as well as having start of main phase play a card, is going to be very interesting for this deck. It does seem like they have looked at other powerful engine cards in the past, like Daiken, and have decided to go a little bit more insane with it in the future. Any of your Alter S decks or Omnimon decks now always having access to 2 bodies makes this a very interesting deck indeed, and I look forward to seeing what CS traded champions we get. Maybe we'll just get a Greymon and a Garurumon, maybe we'll get something different. We already know that the Rise Greymon plays a red or black tamer if you have 1 or less. So, I may have made a complaint about Agumon and Gabumon beating every single set. In my defense, Vmon won't be in EX9, according to my calculations. For a play cost of 3, 1000 DP, Digivolves from a blue for 0, or a level 2 with the CS trait for 0. Your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Veedramon in its name, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Inherited effect, all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon with the Veedramon in its name would leave the battle area by your opponent's effects, by suspending this Digimon, it doesn't leave. Now we already saw this Digimon turn up with the Judge Packs, but Veedramon, play cost of 5, 5000 DP, Digivolves from a level 3 for a cost of 2, or any of the CS trait Digimon for a cost of 2. With Digivolving, if you have 1 or fewer tamers, you may play 1 tamer card with Veedramon in its text from your hand without paying the cost, which, as you may have seen before, is an extra 1 or 2 tamers than you may have thought of. Inherited effect, all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon with the Veedramon in its name would leave the battle area by your opponent's effects, by suspending this Digimon, it doesn't leave. All in all, very good support for a deck that has struggled in the past few sets. Looking forward to seeing how All Force is abused and used in BT22. Well. It seems the 130 reveal is the Magenta Day. With Meramon coming in for a play cost of 5, 5000 DP, Digivolves from a red or a purple, level 3 for a cost of 3, or Digivolves from a flame or CS trait for a cost of 2. Main once per turn by paying 2. This Digimon gains raid and piercing for the turn. Then, this Digimon may attack. Inherited effect, your turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP. This is quite an interesting Digimon in itself, and also gets a chance to sort of linger itself over towards the Necromon side of the game, which hasn't really done much since its reveal, but it does get its blue canonical evolution, Blue Meramon. For a play cost of 7, 7000 DP, Digivolve from a red or a purple for a cost of 4, or Digivolve from a level 4 flame or CS trait for a cost of 3. Keyword Alliance. Main once returned by paying 3, you may play 1 play cost 5 or low Digimon card with the flame or CS trait from your trash without paying the cost, then this Digimon may attack, which in comparison is pretty damn good. Inherited effect, your turn, this Digimon with the flame or CS trait gains Alliance. Personally speaking, I think this is a really cool card, a very interesting card. The Meramon, on the other hand, if it was maybe if the main was also a when Digivolving effect, I'd probably be a bit more with it, but I think that's a little bit of an ask. But trying to keep turn while Digivolving and then spending the free to play out the cards and do a bit more, I want to see where this line goes. It could be very interesting. Maybe there's a level 6, or maybe the baby, or maybe the level 3 has an inherited effect that says when Digivolving you may activate the main ability of a card, which would be interesting, something different for a deck like this or interactive going forwards. But I am actually looking forward to seeing what this does and what line this actually brings out in the future, and kind of just looking forward to what BT22 wants to do now that we've seen some of the big hitters from EX9 drop already. As you may have seen from the Judge Pack leaks for Season 2 of the Season 25 to 26 regional season, we have Rise Greymon, a Digimon with the most awkwardly worded thing we currently have, but don't worry, it's gonna get worse. For a play cost of 8, 8000 DP, Digivolves from a black or red at level 4 for a cost of 4, or a Greymon in the name with the CS trait for a cost of 3, which I think is a fairly good standard. Has raid, and the awkward part about the whole thing, when digivolving, if you have one or fewer tamers from your hand and without paying the cost, you may play one red or one black tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less, or one tamer card with the CS trait. Why is that worded so weirdly? I don't understand. Inherited effect, security attack +1. It's a red Digimon. I'm always okay with this, but it is a cyborg, which means it's just another gear for the cogs in the Machinedramon engine. Well, it was only a matter of time until the human form came to eat you. We have the Eater human form coming in as a no-level nobody. For a play cost of 6, 6000 DP. Digivolve from Eater species form for a cost of 2. When digivolving, you may place one Eater species form from this Digimon's Digivolution cards as the bottom Digivolution card of your Mother Eater in the breeding area. Your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon checks your opponent's security stack, you may play one tamer card with the CS trait from your hand without paying the cost. Inherited effect, breeding, your turn once per turn, when any of your Digimon cards with the Eater trait will be played, you may reduce the play cost by 1. People are suggesting that we might see 2 versions of Errata in this set, one as we know for the Diaboromon side of things, as well as being the Errata Eater form that we might see later on. But this might mean that we see more of a Digimon than just a tamer. Maybe something similar to maybe how Marcus works. Well, at this point, with BT22, it just feels like they're reusing the judge cards that we saw last month. With Gargamon coming in here, for a play cost of 5, 6000 DP, digivolves from a yellow or a green level 3 for a cost of 3, or any of the CS traded Digimon for a cost of 2. When digivolving, if you have one or fewer tamers, you may play one tamer card with the CS trait from your hand without paying the cost. Inherited effect, all turns, this Digimon gains 1000 DP. Coming in though with Togemon next, for a play cost of 5, 5000 DP, digivolves from a green or a red level 3, or the CS trait for a cost of 2. On play, when digivolving, one of your Digimon gets 3000 DP for the turn. Then, if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level cards, this Digimon gains Raid and Piercing for the turn, which, funnily enough, doesn't state CS, meaning this could be pretty good in just a X-Antibody Palmon deck. Inherited effect, your turn, this Digimon gains 2000 DP. And then Gardramon coming in for a play cost of 5, 5000 DP, digivolves from a black or yellow, or a CS trait for a cost of 2. On play, when digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. Then, if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same colour cards, you may de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Again, not necessarily in the same sense as the Togemon, you could be looking at a Hagurumon X Antibody, as they do not request the CS trait. Inherited effect, opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP. Now, all in all, I quite like these cards, and I am looking forward to seeing how the CS deck will work in the future, as it does seem that every single CS Digimon will work with every other CS Digimon. But, time will tell, and the top line needs to be revealed sooner or later. Well, we knew he'd be dangerous, but a super rare dangerous has me intrigued. Arata Sanada, play cost of 4, Tamer. Security, play this card without paying its cost, start of your turn. If you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3. Opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks by suspending this Tamer, change the attack target to one of your Digimon with the unidentified or CS trait. Inherited effect, opponent's turn. Once per turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks, if this Digimon is Eater Adam, you may change the attack target to one of your unidentified or CS trait Digimon. With Arata kind of showing more stuff going on with the Eaters coming out in BT22, it was only a matter of time till we saw Arata do his thing. Now, being available for both the Diaboromon lines as well as the Eater lines makes it a little bit more simpler for when you want to deal with your tamer fun. Deeper down the rabbit hole we go. With Keramon, play cost of 3, 1000 DP, digivolves from black, level 2 for 0, or the CS trait for 0. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Arata Sanada, and 1 card with the unidentified or CS trait amongst them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. All turns, inherited effect, once per turn, when this Digimon with Diaboromon in its text will leave the battle area by deleting one of your other Diaboromon, it doesn't leave. With Kurisarimon coming again after being revealed from the judge packs late last month, play cost of 5, 5000 DP, digivolves from a level 3 for a cost of 2, as well as the CS trait for a cost of 2. When digivolving, if you have one or fewer tamers, you may play one Ratasinada from your hand without paying the cost. Inheritance effect all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon with the Diaboromon in its text would leave the battle area, but by deleting one of your other Diaboromon, it doesn't leave. With Kurosariamon having one of the most unique level 4s in the game, basically always revolving around it, it's been very hard to decide what we need to keep and what can stay and what can go. Well, I think BT22 may be able to stay, as well as BT5, and a few other choice picks for you and them. But a secret special reveal card today, as I don't really want to make a fifth short today. The Agumon from EX9 is getting a nice full art for participation at your local gaming stores for doing the release event for EX9. Now, I do believe this is more of a Digimon Day event crossover, as opposed to it being specifically for an EX set, but I do look forward to having some of these in hand, as they're actually quite cool looking Agumons. With more BT22 reveals happening today, we have ourselves a Devimon, which also happened yesterday. Playcost of 5, 6000 DP, digivolves from a red or a purple level 3 for a cost of 3, or the flame or CS trait for a cost of 2. When digivolving, if you have one or fewer tamers, you may play Jimmy Ken from your hand without paying the cost. Inherited effect on deletion, you may return one Digimon card with the flame or CS trait from your trash to the hand, which is pretty good in a deck that wants to just punch everything down. But we have ourselves a new School Marimon, so don't just think that the Nightmare Soldiers is the best, this one could also be pretty good as well. For a playcost of 7, 7000 DP, digivolves from a purple or a red for a cost of 4, or a level 4 with a flame or CS trait for a cost of 3. Main, once per turn. By paying free cost, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. If this effect didn't delete, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. Then, this Digimon may attack, but on deletion, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card in your hand. Inherited effect, on deletion, you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon card with the flame or CS trait from the trash without paying the cost. This is pretty good at just recurring the fact that you want to just punch things in the face with Skullmera and Marimon. But either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what these two do and what Jimmy might be doing in the near future, maybe even tomorrow. As you may have seen in today's earlier short, we did have access to the EX9 cards, but between EX9 and BT22, what do you have to play for? Well, Devimon here is here to show you. Inherited effects of your turn, once per turn, when any of your blue tamers are played, draw 1 card, which in a deck like All Force is fairly often. And with having this as a winner's piece as well, it's going to look very shiny for those of you who are looking forward to play the newest All Force deck. But not only are we looking forward to that in BT22, we also have the reveal of Jimmy Ken, playcost of 4. Start of your turn. If you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3. Your turn, when your Digimon are played or digivolve, if any of them have the Flame or CS trait, by suspending this tamer, activate one of those Digimon's main effect. If this activated any effect, gain a memory. And security effect, play this card without paying the cost. Interestingly enough, it's a uncommon memory cessor, which actually might be Purple's first memory cessor that isn't a rare or in the rare slot. But I'm looking forward to more of the CS trait, as it does seem to be quite an interesting toolbox to have. And as Digimon seems to be diving more into toolboxes than archetypal stuff these days, I'm looking forward to seeing what the CS trait is really going to do. As mentioned a few weeks back, we did see some of these promos before, but today we get to see, in its full glory, Apollomon Ace. Promo 191, playcost of 7, 12,000 DP, digivolves from a red or a yellow for a cost of 4, or a Light Fang or a Nightclaw for a cost of 3. On play, when digivolving to one of your opponent's Digimon, give negative 4,000 DP for the turn for each of your Digimon with the Olympus 12 trait. Then delete up to 7,000 DP total worth of their Digimon. End of your turn, 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into Grace Novamon in the hand. Then one of your Digimon may attack. But the interesting thing about this one is it also has an inherited effect. End of your turn, once per turn, one of your Digimon may attack. This is very interesting Digimon to have, especially if you know when digivolving up into a new level 6, it's going to be pushing you over into your opponent's side, giving you a form of pseudo blitz that may or may not help you end the game faster. But with Tweetmon coming out yesterday, it's strange that they didn't want to match these up like they sometimes do with Musimon. Play cost of 3, 2000 DP, Digivolves me yellow level 2 for a cost of 0, or the Atmon trait for a cost of 0. Your turn. Once per turn, when this Digimon gets linked, if you have one of your tamers, you may play one Torajiro Asuka from your hand without paying the cost. Link for a cost of 1. When attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn, and while it is linked to a Digimon, it gains 2000 DP. That being said though, its champion form here, Mediamon, for a play cost of 6, 6000 DP, Digivolves from a blue or a yellow level 3 Digimon, or the rainbow of STND app Digimon. But it may app fuse by using Musimon, Recomon, and MCmon for a Digivolution cost of 0. If two such cards are linked together, stack the link cards on top and then Digivolve. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4000 DP for the turn. Your turn. Once per turn, when this Digimon gets linked, you may play one level 3 Digimon card with the Atmon trait from your hand without paying the cost. Link cost of 2. When attacking, you may play one level 3 Digimon card with the Atmon trait from your hand without paying the cost, as well as giving a plus 3000 DP to the linked Digimon. All in all, this is a fairly good card, especially if you want to be able to attack and get out searches while still doing your best to keep turn when you can. All in all, the Atmon deck is actually looking more interesting by the day, and I definitely start picking up those SRs and secret rares from BT21. With Bakemon being at promo of the day, 192, looking to be part of the Ghost and Liberator traded cards. Level 4, play cost of 5, 5000 DP, Digivolves make level 3 purple for a cost of 2. On play, when Digivolving, by trashing one card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, making it quite fun to get around some of those scheming floodgates. Inherited effect Retaliation. In a deck that kind of wants to churn itself out, explode itself up, and drag you down to hell with it, this is a pretty good card. I'm looking forward to using this myself in the Necro deck, but we do definitely need more top ends for that deck overall. And in the BT22 release of the day, it looks like Galaxy 2.0 is well underway, with Wanyamon as a green. With the inherited effect, your turn, once per turn, when effects place CS traded Digimon cards in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, it may Digivolve into a CS traded Digimon card in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. Very similar to how our good friends over in the Galaxy engine like to play things. Now, I have no issue with there being a Galaxy 2.0, but could we please get some support for Galaxy that makes the Galaxy deck good and not just a top-end pile of fire and ice? With BT22 underway, here's the promo for today. The Wicked God emerges for a use cost of 3. Main by trashing one card with the Composite or Wicked God trait from your hand, draw 2, then place this card in the battle area. End of all turns, delay. By deleting one of your Millenniummon, you may play one Wicked God trait Digimon card from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Pretty spicy. Security, activate this card's main effect, which is still fairly good. Is this the option card to make Millennium more playable in the near future, especially with the support that we've just seen recently? With the latest Chimera coming in the DM decks, could we see possibly this being included in the future Millennium as a top end maybe? Probably not. It'd be very interesting to see if the DM traded cards could slot into the new Chimeramon and then somehow work with Machinimon to make Millenniummon DM's greatest Digimon. And for the BT22 reveals today, Ripamon, level 4, coming in for a play cost of 5, 5000 DP, Digivolves from a yellow level 3 for a cost of 2, or the CS trait for a cost of 2. When effects trash this card from security stack, you may play this card without paying the cost. Pretty good in a meta where Machinemon's just popping stuff left and right, and maybe Medusamon depending how good we get in the future. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP until the end of their turn. By trashing your top security card, instead, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6000 DP until the end of the turn, which is nothing to scoff about. Inherited effect, when attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Stacking their minus DP effects yellow, it's very usual of you. And with the latest level 5 for that line, Shirinmon, play cost of 7, 7000 DP, Digivolves me yellow level 4 for a cost of 3, or a level 4 CS trait for a cost of 3. When
When effects trash this card from your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8,000 for the turn. Stop trashing my security. When digivolving by trashing your top security card, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with Kantorasmon or Mytamamon in its name, or the CS trait in hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. Inherited effect, when attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for the turn. With the Royal Knights seeing more support in this set, only time will tell how good the newest Centaurusmon will be. That being said though, we haven't really seen a good Centaurusmon deck in all these years. Maybe BT22 will crush that curse. With Regulation 2 coming in July until the end of August, Shumon is your promotional promo. An alternate art for the ST19 Searcher. It's going to make this very interesting to get a playset of these, although being the participation prize, it shouldn't be too hard. With ST19 actually needing an alternate art, or at least a higher form of rarity, it's nice to see that they get something so charming by the sea, somewhat reminiscent of our good old Wormmon and Vmon from years past. But with BT22 coming in, Gold Numon has arrived, blinging out the day. Level 4, play cost of 5, 2000 DP, Digivolves may level 3, yellow or black, or a level 4 Numamon in name, or a level 3 CS trait Digimon card for a cost of 2. On play, when Digivolving, give one of your opponent's Digimon security attack minus 2. Until their turn ends, then if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level cards, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Platinum Numon in the hand for a Digivolution cost of 4, ignoring the Digivolution requirements, skipping that level 5 phase. Inherited effect, your turn once per turn, when this Digimon will Digivolve into a Digimon card with the CS trait, reduce that Digivolution cost by 1. Now, doing this in a way, going from the 5 to a 6 makes a lot of sense, but will there be a level 7 CS trait Digimon we can abuse with Platinum? And Platinum Numon coming in, gaudy as ever. For play cost of 9, 8000 DP, Digivolves may black or yellow level 5 for a cost of 4, or the CS trait for a cost of 3. On play, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8000 DP for the turn. Your turn. Once per turn, when any of your opponent's Digimon are deleted, one of your other Digimon with the CS trait may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the CS trait in the hand without paying the cost, which when you're trying to just go through things quite quickly is actually a fairly good ability. Having Numons stacking up as quick as they can could be quite an interesting sight to see in the near future. With Regulation 2 around the corner, today we see the winner's prize, Abestetmon, staring up at the celebrations knowing that you are the Digimon champion. Unfortunately speaking, I don't think there was a good level 5 to put here as the alternate art slot. If you want to stay in purple, I would maybe suggest Lady Devmonix, as I feel like a lot of people probably want to have more of her in their lives. But we do see more from BT22 today. 2 brand new Atmons. Effectmon, play cost of 4, 4000 DP, will Digivolve from a red level 3 for a cost of 2, or Atmons, a Rainbow of Imaginations, but has a security effect at the end of battle. Play this card without paying its cost, and then on play or when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. A link cost of 2. Linked, when linking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less, which will help get rid of some of those pesky floodgates as well as those low DP blockers. We also have joining us today, Retcomon. For a play cost of 3, 1000 DP will Digivolve from black for a cost of 2, or any level 2 Atmon traded Digimon card. You know how I feel about these trait-based draw cards. I think they're really good, I do enjoy them, and I think it's going to be good to see Atmon being able to churn through things, especially if you don't have a card that you need at the time. But Link, app for a cost of 1, Linked gains blocker, which again, if you have a big body and you don't have a way of having blocker, it'll be pretty good. So far though, I've been really enjoying these reveals from BT22, and I hope to see more coming fast and furious. But with Thursday coming tomorrow, I do look forward to seeing what the weekly video can release. Maybe some more news about the new puppet support, or maybe some more news about Close and their level 7 coming soon. From the reveals we got today from stream, holy crap, these are pretty good. But to speak for free, BT22 is here to stay. Kyoko Kurumi, play cost of 5, start of your turn. If you have 2 less memory, better set that bad boy to free. All turns, when any of your level 4 or higher CS trait Digimon are deleted, by suspending this tamer, return 1 CS trait Digimon card from the trash to the hand. Your turn, once per turn, when this tamer unsuspends, if you don't have an Alphamon, this tamer may digivolve into an Alphamon in the hand with the Digivolutionary cost reduced by 2. This intrigues me because I'd have to figure out the timing of things, but could. So I believe it'd be a case of start of your turn, you'd gain the memory, you then unsuspend the tamer, and then you can digivolve into Alphamon, I think. So you're always going to be able to digivolve into Alphamon and keep turn with this tamer, I think. Very interesting. I want to see what the Alphamon in this set does. If not, we've still got some very good Alphamons in the past, so we shall see what we can do with her. Yugo Kamishiro, play cost of 3. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with the CS trait amongst them to the hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Your turn, when any of your Digimon or Tamers with the CS trait would be played by returning this Tamer to the bottom of the deck, reduce the play cost by 2. Which I think actually is going to be pretty good. It's very useful at keeping your deck going, so you've got a way of not drawing yourself out. It's good for your on-play searchers, means it only costs you 1 instead of 3. I think this is good. I look forward to seeing this. Obviously, certain floodgates will start doing better into the meta, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. And then Yuko Kamishiro. Play cost of 4. Security, play a card without paying its cost. Start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. All turns, when attack targets change by suspending this tamer, for the turn, your opponent's Digimon's effects don't affect one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name or the CS trait. And it gets 3000 DP. All turns, once per turn, when attack targets change, if this Digimon is Eta Eve, one of your Digimon gets 3000 DP for the turn, making this the second half of what we've already seen with Arata. Looking forward to this set if more every day. Interesting to see what we can also do with these cards, and what Digimon are going to play more of a role in the near future. Today was a very blue day indeed, and this might have to be done in 2 parts. With the reveal, for BT22 001, we have our first number 1 blue Digimon, Puyoyomon. Inherited effect, your turn, once per turn, when effects place Digimon cards with the Aqua or Sea Animal in any of their traits in this Digimon's Distribution cards, draw 1. A fairly good card indeed, especially with an engine that wants to start shoving things in and out very quickly. BT22 also has a new Sangamon for the aquatic line. I'm pretty sure at this point we have enough for the deck. Play cost of 3, 1000 DP, Digivolves from a level 2 blue for a cost of 0. On play, by placing this Digimon as the bottom Digivolution card of any of your other Digimon with the Aqua or Sea Animal in any of their traits, until your opponent's turn ends, that Digimon gains blocker and can't be deleted in battle, which is a fairly good thing we've seen from a certain level 5. Headed effect, jamming, but also has the rules trait of Aquatic while being a mollusk, as well as the Liberator Bad Boy. Sharmon, a level 4 for the deck, play cost of 5, 5000 DP, Digivolves from a blue, level 3 for a cost of 2, has a Decode level 3 with Aqua Sea Animal in any traits. When this Digimon will leave the battle area other than in battle, you may play 1 level 3 Digimon card with the Aqua or Sea Animal in any of their traits from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. On play, when Digivolving, you may place 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits from your hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, always considered an aquatic type. Inheritable effect, jamming. I'm going to be real. Jamming is getting a bit sick and tired at this point. Could we just had like inherited effect? Once per turn, when you add a card to hand, gain a memory or draw a thing, you know, do some things. Or when you play a card from the sources, you know, gain something. And then finally, Ryugamon. Now, we did see the Marine Bullmon in the comic this week, but we haven't had their full card revealed, so that will be done at a later date. Level 6, play cost of 11, 11,000 DP, Digivolves from a blue, level 5 for a cost of 3, and then Decode level 5 with an Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits. On play, when Digivolving, by placing 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Aqua or Sea Animal in any of its traits from your hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until their turn ends. All turns, once per turn, when effects add to this Digimon's Digivolution cards, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Rules trait, always consistent aquatic type, while also being a mollusk. I mean, the name is Dragon, why not be a dragon type? But nonetheless, I think the art is beautiful. I don't think we're going to see this as a alternate art down the line, but Koki has done a fantastic watercolour job as they do with many of their art styles, and I am happy to see this in the game. That being said though, I do think Bandai needs to do something with all this jamming going on this deck, but then again, Rush would be just as bad. Another fairly big BT22 reveal day has come upon us on this fine, slightly warm Saturday. With Tapmon, level 2, Yellow coming into play with inherited effect of your turn once per turn. When this Digimon gets linked, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Generic yellow naughtiness, but at the same time having an effect getting rid of those also very pesky floodgates will definitely help you push out your gameplays going forwards. With MCmon coming out hard and fast, rapid flows, your nose. For play cost of 3, 1000 DP, Digivolves from a blue level 2 for 0, as well as a level 2 Atmon trait for a cost of 0. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 with the Atmon trait and 1 card with the Entertainment or Awakening trait amongst them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Link, cost of 1. When linking, trash any 1 Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Gain 2000 DP. Now, people thought this effect was crazy in the past. We had to spend 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 memory on this kind of effect, but for a cost of 1, strip an ace from an opponent's sources. Well, don't mind if I do. Royalmon, play cost of 4, 4000 DP. Digivolves from green level 3 for a cost of 2. The STND line of Atmon. Security, at the end of battle, play this card without paying the cost, and then on play or when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. For a link cost of 2, when linking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Gain 3000 DP to a linked Digimon. And then last but not least, for this creepy day indeed, Dreammon. Play cost of 4, 4000 DP. Digivolves from a black level 3 for a cost of 2, or for a cost of 2 from any of the STND Atmon Digimon. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon gets linked, your opponent's effects can't return one of your Digimon to the hand or deck until their turn ends. Link, for a cost of 2, gain 3000 DP, or when linking, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, which is a fairly good ability, I would agree with. But, nonetheless, let's count these sheep as we go into the deepest of dreams. Happy Father's Day to all the tamers out there who have graced themselves with a mini-me or she of themselves. And to all the tamers out there who don't have children, be thankful. As loving as they can be, they are evil through and through. At least my two are. With BT22 coming in hot with a Wargreymon, a Metal Groomon, and a Neverland Omnimon, it's going to be quite an interesting day. Wargreymon for a play cost of 12, 12,000 DP. Digivolves from a blue or a red level 5 for a cost of 4. Or the Greymon in name or the CS trait for a cost of 3. Hand, main, if you have a Nokia, one of your Agamon Digivolves into this card for a Digivolution cost of 6, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. When Digivolving, activate one of the following effects. One of your Gabmon may Digivolve into a Metal Groomon in the hand, ignoring the Digivolution requirements and without paying the cost. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. With inherited effect of when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Omnimon in its name, trash your opponent's top security card. Metal Groomon, play cost of 12, 12,000 DP. Digivolves from a blue or a red level 5 for a cost of 4, or a Groomon in its name or the CS trait for a cost of 3. Hand main, if you have a Nokia, one of your Gabmon Digivolves into this card for a Digivolution cost of 6, ignoring the Digivolution requirements. When Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. One of your Agamon may Digivolve into a Wargreymon in the hand, ignoring the Digivolution requirements and without paying the cost. Return one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level to the hand, and an inherent effect of when attacking once per turn if this Digimon has Omnimon in its name, unsuspend. Let's take a look at our brand new Netherlands Omnimon. For play cost of 15, 15,000 DP, Digivolves from a red or a blue level 6 for a cost of 6, as well as Digivolves from a CS trait for a cost of 5. But may DNA Digivolve with a Greymon in its name and a Groomon in its name for a cost of 0. Blocker, decode a red-black level 3 and decode blue-yellow level 3. On play, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. When Digivolving, for every 2 same level cards in this Digimon stack, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck, then this Digimon may attack. All in all, this is a pretty good top end for any Omni Turbo deck that you want to play with. Trashing security, unsuspending, and punching your opponent for the fun of it. Let's just say, no more Viva la France. With DM getting a lot of support today, it seems fitting that we might as well finish off the day with more version 5 support. Raidamon Ace coming in hot and heavy as a level 6, play cost of 7, 12,000 DP. Digivolves for 4 cost from a black or green level 5, or for the cost of 3 from a DM-traded Digimon. With Collision and Blocker on play when Digivolving, you may suspend one Digimon, then you may unsuspend one Digimon. All turns once per turn when any of your version 5 trait Digimon suspend, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. And now for a card I couldn't quite fit in yesterday, Cyberspace Eden. For a use cost of 2, or you have no face-up security cards, you can ignore this card's colour requirements. Security, all turns, all of your Digimon with the CS trait get 2000 DP. Main, add your bottom security card to the hand, then place this card face up as the bottom security. Security effect, you may play one play cost of 5 or lower card with the CS trait from your hand without paying the cost. Now, as you may have noticed, play cost is no longer written on option cards, they are now use costed, but this would mean that you can use this to summon out probably a level 4, a level 3, as well as some of those pesky 5 cost or lower tamers. It's also a CS trait card, making it fairly useful to be found when digging through your deck. There's nothing worse than whiffing a search when you could have picked up an option card in its stead. With BT22 at least halfway there, is this the fabled Horizon support we've been promised? No, it's DM support, with Monzemon coming in today, the level 5 that it is, a play cost of 8, 8000 DP, Digivolves from a level 4 for a cost of 4, it's a bit expensive. A Numamon for a cost of 3, or a level 4 with the DM trait for a cost of 4. When any of your Digimon with the version 1 trait will Digivolve into this card, for each of its face down Digivolution cards, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1, making this more of a 2 cost Digivolution from a DM than the 4 cost. Armor Purge. When Digivolving and when attacking once per turn, by trashing this Digimon's bottom face down Digivolution card, until your opponent's turn ends, one of their Digimon can't activate when Digivolving effects and gets minus 4000 DP. Which if that DP reduction didn't just shoot off a leg, that when Digivolving effect is going to be massive. Inherited effect, when attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4000 DP for the turn, which again, in an aggressive deck like this, is going to be pretty darn good. But with another Shin Monzemon coming out here for a play cost of 13,000 DP, Digivolves from a purple or a yellow, level 5 for a cost of 5, or the DM trait for a cost of 5. Or, when any of your version 1 Digimon will Digivolve into this card, reduce that Digivolution cost by 2, which means that Monzemon will actually Digivolve into this for a cost of 3 of them things. Security Tech plus 1, Armor Purge. When Digivolving, when attacking once per turn, by trashing this Digimon's bottom face down Digivolution card, place one Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon as the top security card. And as it doesn't ask for one of yours, that means that your opponent's Digimon might be going to security, get them off the field. And finally for today's DM support, Datamon. For a play cost of 6, 6000 DP, Digivolves from a level 4 for a cost of 3, or the DM trait for a cost of 3. With Blocker, on play when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, their de-Digivolve effects don't affect this Digimon and it gets plus 1000 DP for each of its face down Digivolution cards. But with a very interesting inherited effect for some of those Machinedramon fans out there, end of your opponent's turn, once per turn, you may choose one of your opponent's Digimon. Your opponent attacks with that chosen Digimon. But if you're building the inheritable stack where one of your opponent's Digimon just falls over into the ether, remove their security, this makes that a lot easier to do, especially if you're wanting to get them down to that single security the turn before, making it open season for your Machinedramon. With another round of CS traded Digimon popping up out of BT22, it's time for Kawakamon. For a play cost of 6, 6000 DP, Digivolves from a level 3, green for a cost of 2, or the level 3 CS traded Digimon for a cost of 2. On play, or when Digivolving, if this Digimon's stack has 2 or more same level cards, one of your opponent's Digimon can't unsuspend until their turn ends. Inherited effect, all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, gain 1 memory, which surprising enough does come up. And then Okuamon. For a play cost of 8, 7000 DP, Digivolves from a level 4 green for a cost of 3, or a level 4 CS trait Digimon for a cost of 3. Has the Fortitude keyword. On play, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. If this Digimon's stack has 2 or more same level cards, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with the lowest DP to the hand, which, depending on the situation, it can make or break a game state. Inherited effect, all turns once per turn, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, trash their top security card. Ah yes, the very powerful inherited of a level 5 green Digimon. Let's just remove that security. With the Ninja Fox and the Lightning Pony, now it's time to see Kentorosmon come into play. If you remember my old series, Sealed Only, we did pull one of these back from the 1.0 days. But Kentorosmon, play cost of 12, 12,000 DP. Digivolves from a yellow level 5 for a cost of 4 from Chirimon, or a level 5 with the CS trait for a cost of 3. When this card would be played, if there are 6 or fewer total cards in both players' security stacks, reduce the play cost by 6. Blocker, Barrier. On play, when Digivolving, you may place one yellow card from your hand as the top security card. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon suspends, by trashing your top security card, it unsuspends, making it a very useful card nonetheless. Although Kinturasmon is mostly going to be used as a Royal Knight piece, it's just a shame that its Kirin deck is not going to be as good as it could have been. With our Puss in Boots joining us in BT22, we have Leopardmon Ace. Play cost of 7, 12,000 DP. Digivolves from a green level 5 for a cost of 4, or a level 5 with the CS trait for a cost of 3. On play, when Digivolving, you may play one 5,000 DP or lower Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost. Then, all of your level 3 or higher Digimon gain blocker until your opponent's turn ends. All turns, once per turn, when any of your other Digimon would leave the battle area, gain 2 memory. As this is definitely a Royal Knights card, probably more than a CS card, it is nice to see that we have some decent support coming from Leopardmon himself. Although, the issue here being he is a CS ace, how much play will we truly see from the CS line and not just the Royal Knight slop we're used to? Well, it looks like the rest of the line has come out to play. With Infermon, play cost of 7, 7,000 DP, or Digivolve from a black level 4 for a cost of 3, level 4 CS traded Digimon for a cost of 3. On play, when Digivolve, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. Then, if you have an Errata or Eta Adam, your opponent's effects can't reduce this Digimon's DP or return to the hand or the deck until the end of the turn. That's a pretty good effect. All turns, once per turn, when any of your Digimon with the unidentified trait are deleted, you may play one Diaboromon token without paying the cost. And let's not forget the Big Daddy, Diaboromon. Play cost of 12, 12,000 DP, Digivolves from a level 5 black for a cost of 4, may Digivolve from an Infermon or a level 5 CS rated Digimon card for a cost of 3. Has Alliance, when Digivolving or when attacking, you may play one Diaboromon token without paying the cost, which is considered a Digimon for a cost of 14, level 6, white, mega, unknown, unidentified with 3000 DP. All turns, once per turn. When any of your other Digimon with the unidentified trait are played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. All in all, I quite like this Diaboromon line. It's nothing too fancy. The Infermon is actually pretty good in my opinion. Although, I'm surprised this doesn't have more Tamer hate to it, as, you know, those digital viruses aren't a fan of those Digidestined. But, not the only thing that came from BT22 today. Sumimon, coming in, hot and heavy for the unidentified CS line. Inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When any of your Digimon with the unidentified or CS trait are played, draw one card. That will include your tokens for Diaboromon, as well as any of those pesky searchers that you see. But this might also interact with some of the Eta cards if we find out that the Diaboromon deck and the Eta deck somehow work well together. They probably won't. With BT22 coming in hot, are you ready for the official ready Miri? Coming in as a play cost of 3 and a rare, which makes a change for this very expensive young lady. Start of your main phase. By returning this Tamer to the bottom of the deck, you may play a 1 play cost 4 or higher Miri, or a play cost of 4 or higher Tamer card with the CS trait from your hand without paying the cost. Unplay by trashing one card with a Holy Beast, Angel, Archangel, Fall Angel, or that pesky CS trait from the hand. You may draw 2 cards. Mastimon's biggest issue is that the Miris cost way too much, and this letting you cycle into the more expensive ones for a cost of 3 is actually really good, and especially with the help of the Angie Woman and Lady Devmon that can play out a Miri, maybe this would just be the card needed to push Mastimon over the edge. With BT22 chugging along like the old steamboat that it is, Moonmon has come to play. The inherit effect of your turn once per turn. When effects place this Digimon's top stacked card as its bottom Digivolution card, draw one and trash one card in your hand. Which up until now, we've never really had a need for trash, but that could be changing in the near future. But with Lunamon coming in as a purple and blue Digimon card, with the Apollomon releasing in the next TP set being yellow and red, well, it makes sense. For a play cost of 3, 1000 DP, Digivolves me blue or purple for a cost of 1, or a level 2 with a Nightclaw or Nightfangs, or CS trait for a cost of 0. I'll play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add one card with Nightclaw and one card with the Light Fang or Galaxy trait amongst them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Since this also includes CS in its Digivolution requirements, from a level 2 to a 3, I am surprised this doesn't say CS. But with how good the Galaxy engine has been in the past, maybe that's for the best. Inherit effect. Main once per turn by placing this Nightclaw or Light Fang traded Digimon's top stack card as its bottom Digivolution card, draw one. Adding to the effects that we already have with the Lunamons and Coronamons so far. And then finally revealed in today's stream, Dianamon, purple and blue. For a cost of 12,000 DP. For a play cost of 12,000 DP. Digivolves from a purple or a blue for a cost of 4, or Nightclaw Light Fang CS for a cost of 3. With the keywords Iceclad and Blocker, which are pretty damn good. When digivolving, if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level Digimon cards in them, trash any 4 Digivolution cards from your opponent's Digimon. Then return one of your opponent's Digimon with 1 or fewer Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck. End of your turn, once per turn, one of your Digimon may unsuspend, which will help with the blocker part of this Digimon's keywording. But inherit effect, end of your turn, once per turn, one of your Digimon may unsuspend, depending on how good the next Grace Novamon is. If not, I'm sure there's a good blue or purple card we could be using instead at the top. With BT22 revealing today Jimmy Ken's final Digimon, the Mega Boltmon, for a play cost of 12,000 DP, Digivolves from a purple or a red level 5 for a cost of 4, or a level 5 Digimon with the Flame or CS trait costing 3. Rush. Your turn, this Digimon gains all main effects of its Digivolution cards with the Flame trait. When attacking once per turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. Assembly -6. 5 Flame trait Digimon cards with different card numbers. When this would be played, by placing the specified cards from the trash under it, reduce the play cost. This is a very interesting 6 play cost Digimon, especially in a deck that has options to mill itself out and getting those flames into the trash, especially if all of your cards are flame-based Digimon. With a lot of the line from BT15 going onwards having access to main effects, this is going to be a very interesting card indeed, and having the ability to rush down your opponent will not be wasted on me. But that being said, having rush and be able to get this out for the cost of 6, with the ability to have the memory set of Jimmy Ken's come on the field, as well as other sources like memory boosts on the field, I could definitely see Boltmon over here rushing down a target and making it an absolute chaos time for anyone who's interested indeed. It's always a good day for yellow if we're talking about puppets. So today in BT22 we had revealed 3 new puppets for everyone's favourite puppet line, not Monzimon. Kyaramon. Inherit effect, your turn once per turn. When any of your tokens or other puppet trait Digimon are deleted, draw 1, which is very useful in a deck with Overclock. Shumon dropped down today and made a little bit of a bang for a play cost of 3, 1000 DP. Digivolves from a yellow level 2 for a cost of 0. But on play, or on deletion, which means both, one of your Digimon with the puppet trait gains blocker until your opponent's turn ends, which, with the new top end from EX9, isn't as amazing as it could have been, but okay. Inherit effect, when attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. This is already inherited effect by a lot of yellow level 3s anyway. But since you will be attacking generally with this stack and then popping other things due to overclock and all that, it makes some sense. But then, the queen herself, Sendromon. Play cost of 11,000 DP. Digivolves from a yellow level 5 for a cost of 3 with the overclock puppet trait, which is you can destroy a puppet to attack without having to suspend. On play, when digivolving, you may play 1 familiar token. On deletion, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP, which is the usual thing for these tokens. All turns, once per turn, when any of your other Digimon are deleted, which does include the token, you may activate one of these Digimons when digivolving effects, which is to play a token. With having the keyword Overclock, which allows you to attack without having to suspend, and having inherited effects from your level 5s that stop you from being removed in the field, similar to how Decoy works, it makes sense that this deck wants to run around the familial trait tokens. Personally speaking, I think this is really good support for Sendril. I think this is going to be a new top end for Sendril. the new level 2 I think is actually pretty good and generally going to be used with this deck as it goes. The Shumon, I can take it or leave it. It's not necessarily a good or a bad level 3. I just don't think it's necessarily the best level 3. It could have been anything else really and been useful. But it's a new name and the deck likes to have names as it does help with the arises. So all in all, I think it's a fairly good 2 out of 3. Just another day being the biggest fan of yellow possible. Torajiro Asuka, play cost of 3, start of your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain their memory sun. Your turn, when any of your Digimon get linked by suspending this tamer, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn, then one of your Digimon may app fuse into a Digimon card in their hand. But this also comes along with a brand new option card, Music of the Heart. For a use cost of 2, where you have an Appmon treated Digimon on the field or a tamer on the field, you can ignore this card's clear requirements. Main, draw 1, then place this card in the battle area. All turns, when any of your Appmon trait Digimon are played, you may delay. You may link one Appmon trait Digimon card from your hand to one of your Digimon without paying the cost, which, depending on the Digimon, is a pretty good effect, and for free. Security, place this card in the battle area. But that's not all. We also received Uranusman. Play cost of 12, 12,000 DP. Digivolves from a yellow, level 5 for a cost of 4, or any colour utility app, but you may app fuse Entomon and Fakemon for a cost of 0. If 2 such cards are linked together, stack the linked cards on top and Digivolve. Keywords of Alliance and Link plus 1, which means you get to have 2 linked Digimon in this Digimon sources. When Digivolving, when attacking, once per turn, you may play one level 4 or lower Appmon trait Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost, which is pretty sweet. All turns, once per turn, when any of your Digimon are played, you may link one Appmon trait Digimon card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to one of your Digimon without paying the cost, which I think is a fair price to pay. I can't believe you haven't given us a Tyrannomon, but you gave us an X-Tyrannomon line today? Well, that was never on a bingo card of mine. With Agumon X Antibody in purple and green, for a play cost of 3, 2000 DP. Digivolves from a purple or green level 2 for a cost of 1, can Digivolve from a Koromon or an Agumon for a cost of 0. On play, when Digivolving, you may return one dinosaur card with Tyrannomon in its name or the dinosaur trait from the trash to the hand. With EXA already playing some of this Tyrannomon dinosaur reptile game, I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out. Inherit effect, all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, gain 1 memory. Well, purple does like to smash things around and green likes to suspend it first, so that memory is coming to me. But Dark Tyrannomon X Antibody comes in looking ravenous for some more fun. For a play cost of 6, 6000 DP, Digivolves from a purple or a green level 3 for a cost of 3, or the Tyrannomon name without the X Antibody trait for a cost of 0. When Digivolving, if Dark Tyrannomon or the X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. When attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Tyrannomon in its name or the dinosaur trait in hand, and let me tell you, there's at least a handful of those. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, gain 1 memory. I love free memory. And now finally for Metal Tyrannomon X Antibody Black and Green. For a play cost of 8, 8000 DP, will Digivolve from a black or a green level 4 for a cost of 4, or with a level 5 Tyrannomon in its name without the X Antibody trait for a cost of 1. Keyword Collision. When Digivolving, this Digimon gets 4000 DP until your opponent's turn ends. Then, if Metal Tyrannomon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon can't Digivolve until the end of their turn, which makes it really hard for them to ace you if you want to swing at them. Inherited effect, end of your opponent's turn. Once per turn, you may choose one of your opponent's Digimon. Your opponent attacks with the chosen Digimon. And as we have already seen this inherited effect happen recently from, I'm pretty sure, another Tyrannomon line, it's nice to see that we're just going to make things continuously smash into us over and over again, either for a Tyrannomon's sake or a Machinedramon's sake. And one last card for today. With Gammon coming in with the artwork fighting off Lord Nightmon, you can definitely see this is meant to be a match made in heaven. And by heaven I mean some kind of purgatory Digimon hell. For a play cost of 13, 13,000 DP, yes it does combo with the EX4 and you know it does. Digivolves from a level 5, black or red for a cost of 5, or Digivolves for a level 5 Greymon in the name, or with the CS trait for a cost of 4, which, as we know, Rise Greymon's a thing. With Raid and Reboot, we've seen that one before today, When digivolving, you may suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, this Digimon may attack. This is more interesting than you think it is, because sometimes you just want to be able to suspend the biggest thing and then fight the smaller thing, especially if you're not as big as you could be. But that being said, with the next effect, all turns, once per turn, when attack targets change, this Digimon gains piercing and plus 5000 DP for the turn, making the aforementioned when Digimon effect maybe a bit more moot. And rule text as always, Galmon is treated as a Greymon. All in all, a very interesting top end and pretty darn powerful overall. With the promo and the EX4 one now in the game, it's a pretty darn good time to be a Galmon enjoyer, player, and meta thriller. BT22 keeps revealing some very cool stuff. One such thing is Rikishibi. Play cost of 3, start of your main, if your opponent has a Digimon, get that memory. End of your turn, once per turn, by deleting one of your other Digimon or Tamers with Nightmon in their text. Or, the CS trait, this Tamer may digivolve into a Lord Nightmon in the hand with the digivolution cost reduced by 3. Rikishibi is a CS trait Tamer. Security, play this card without paying the cost. And now you might be thinking, so we're getting a new Lord Nightmon? Yes we are, a black and a red new Lord Nightmon. Very evil of you to say, Lord Nightmon. Play cost of 12, 12,000 DP, digivolves from a black or red level 5 for a cost of 4, or, this one's a bit of a mouthful, level 5 CS trait for a cost of 3 while you have 3 or fewer securities Rikishibi for a cost of 5. As you've already seen with Rikishibi, she can reduce the cost by 3 to go into 2, raid, reboot, on play, when digivolving, one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until your opponent's turn ends. Then, one of your Digimon may attack a player. Pretty good if you got raid, right? All turns, once per turn. When Digimon attack players, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play one play cost 4 or lower black or red card amongst them without paying the cost. Trash the rest. It makes sense that you want to be building your army of 4 cost or lower Digimon with the help of your commanding general, Lord Nightmon. BT22 has come to play, and here comes the white nightmares that we get from the digital world. Mother Eater, for a play cost of 20, 0 DP. Breeding, start of your main phase, look at your Digi-Egg deck's top card. Among them, you may place Mother Eater as this Digimon's top Digivolution card. This Digimon has 10 or more Digivolution cards. You may play 3 Mother Eaters from its Digivolution cards without paying the cost. Breeding, all turns, all of your Mother Eaters in the battle area are treated as having 16,000 DP. On play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Inherited effect, breeding, all turns, once per turn, when any of your Eater trait Digimon will leave the battle area, other than by your effects, you may place them as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. With how the 7 Great Demon Lord deck works, and Royal Knights, this could be really quick to be fair, and it's kind of scary. Eater Eve, with play cost of 6, 7,000 DP, digivolves from Yuko, for a cost of 3. Raid, on play, when digivolving until your opponent's turn ends, one of their Digimon can't suspend. Then, if this Digimon has no Digivolution cards, you may place one Yuko from your hand or trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. This is how Hybrid should have been made. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may play a one Yuko from its Digivolution cards without paying the cost. It's pretty good, like, I'm not gonna lie. Eater, Adam, play cost of 8, 10,000 DP, digivolves Murata for a cost of 4, security attack plus 1. On play, when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's play cost 7 or lower Digimon. Then, if this Digimon has no Digivolution cards, you may place one Arata from your hand or trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may play one Arata from its Digivolution cards without paying the cost. I really like these, even if they're kind of Eldritch horrors of the Digimon world. And then we also get the final piece of the puzzle, Akemi Sudo. Play cost of 4, security players cover paying its cost. Your turn, when any of your Digimon with the Eater trait are played, by suspending this Tamer, gain a memory. Then, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, draw 1 too. It's a pretty good recursion engine. Main, place this Tamer as any of your Mother Eater's bottom Digivolution cards. And then inherit effect all turns, while this Digimon is Mother Eater, it gains Rush, Alliance, and Scapegoat. This deck's really cool, I'm gonna figure out how to make it work. With BT22 dropping more support for those decks you really want. Today, it was Rena. And she's not a secret rare, just a rare. For a play cost of 4, start off your turn, if you have 2 or less memory, set that to 3. On play, one of your Digimon with Vidramon in its name gets 3000 DP until your opponent's turn ends. which is pretty good. Your turn, when one of your Digimon with Vegemon in its name attacks, by returning this tamer to the hand, that Digimon gains jamming for the turn. Which in a deck that wants to swing and unsuspend and swing and unsuspend and swing and unsuspend and swing and unsuspend is pretty good. Now, I'm down for that. I don't know about you. And with Renanier, Era Vegemon has been revealed. For play cost of 7, 7000 DP, Digivolves from a blue level 4 for a cost of 3, or the CS trait for a cost of 3. On play, when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. End of your turn, once per turn, one of your blue Digimon or tamers may unsuspend. Inherited effect, all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon with Vegemon in its name suspends, if you have a blue tamer, this Digimon may unsuspend, which, to be fair, with how this deck operates by flicking tamers onto the field, and now return to your hand, thank you Rena, I guess we'll just continue to flicker ourselves in and out of the game, at least once or twice more, while we can. And with Renanier, there has to be an All-Force. Well, All-Force turns up today as its first Ace card, which I think a lot of us saw coming because of the Raw Knight deck, but nonetheless, he's here to play in both variants. For a play cost of 7, 12,000 DP, Digivolves from a blue level 5 for a cost of 4, or a level 5 CS rated Digimon card for a cost of 3. On play, when Digivolving, activate one of these effects below. Return one of your opponent's lowest level Digimon to the bottom of the deck. You may play one 4 cost or lower blue Tamer card from your hand without paying the cost. When attacking once per turn, this Digimon may unsuspend. I am super thankful it's a blue Tamer and people aren't just going to be pooping out all those cool boys. But nonetheless, this is a fairly cool top end for the deck, but I don't think it'll be taking the place of the BT11 All-Force overall. Either way, I'm happy with this. I'm looking forward to seeing what the deck can do with it and how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be with all those blue Tamers hitting the field. With more reveals coming from BT22, today it's turn for Entomon. For a play cost of 8, 8000 DP, Digivolves from a black or a yellow level 4 for a cost of 4, or a rainbow of support taps for a cost of 4. May app fuse with Mediumon and Dreammon for a cost of 0. Alliance, on play, when Digivolving, you may link one level 4 or lower Digimon card from your hand or this Digimon's Delusion cards to this Digimon without paying the cost. Your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon gets linked, you may play one 4 cost or lower card with the Atmon trait from your hand without paying the cost. Linking for a cost of 3, gain 4000 DP. When linked to one of your opponent's Digimon, give minus 4000 DP for the turn for each of your Digimon with the Atmon trait. This is a fairly good level 5, especially when a lot of the level 5s here act more like Megas. And having a linking effect like this, it's going to make it a lot harder to play against. And with Fakemon joining the party, today has gone pretty well. For a play cost of 8, 8000 DP, Digivolves from a purple or a green level 4 for a cost of 4, or a rainbow of support apps for a cost of 4. App Fusion from Roa and Effectmon for a cost of 0. Retaliation, on play, when Digivolving, you may link one level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash or this Digimon's Delusion cards to this Digimon without paying the cost. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may play one of this Digimon's link cards without paying the cost. App link for a cost of 3, gains 4000 DP, with the inherent effect of Scapegoat. With Gammon receiving some love back in BT21, it seems it's only fair that the other 2 level 4s that didn't get any love during that reign are now coming back to us. With a Wizengammon for a play cost of 4, 5000 DP, Digivolves from a green, level 3 for a cost of 2, or a Gammon for a cost of 2. On play, when Digivolving by placing one Digimon card with the Gammon in its name from the hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, it gains blocker and 3000 DP until your opponent's turn ends. With the inherent effect of Piercing, this is always a fairly good one in a deck that can raid. But we also saw Chaos Gammamon for a play cost of 4, 5000 DP, Digivolves from a blue level 3 for a cost of 2, or a Gammamon for a cost of 2. When attacking once per turn by placing one Digimon card with Gammon in its name from the hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, draw 1. With the inherent effect of Jamming. We've seen these cards before, but they've come now in a slightly new updated format and formula, as it's been a while since these cards received their first versions of these cards. Will they see much play? I don't truly know, but Jamming and Piercing are both very good for a deck that wishes to raid and smash into your opponent and take security and not worry about any retaliation on the back end. With BT22 dropping more of that world building that we love, today we have Kurimi Detective Agency. For a use cost of 3, While you have a CS trait Digimon or Tamer on the field, the battlefield that is not in the breeding area, you can ignore this card's colour requirements. Main, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add one CS trait card amongst them to the hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck, then place this card in the battle area. Main delay, gain 2 memory. Having yourself a inner archetype searcher is becoming very common these days. I'm all for it, especially with the memory gain, as Floodgate rookies are quite available and can slow down the game at least on turn 2 or 3. That being said, where's our Alphamon? Well, he was revealed in the stream. Alphamon from BT22, he is a Holy Warrior, X-Antibody, Royal Knight, CS trait. Play cost 12, 12 has an DP, can Digivolve from a black or a yellow, level 5 for a cost of 4, or the CS trait for a cost of 3. Or, while you have 3 or fewer security, and can Digivolve into Kyoko for a cost of 5. Reboot and blocker on play when Digivolving or when attacking. For the turn, give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 5000 DP. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon suspends, if Kyokyo is in this Digimon's distribution cards, or this Digimon has a stack that has 2 or more of the same level card, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn, and it unsuspends. With having both block it and reboot, and the ability to unsuspend itself, and so much DP minusing, this will be a really good top end for a very control heavy X-Antibody build, if not a CS traded build. Will it be great in Royal Knights? That is left to be unseen currently, as it just seems strange to run the Kyoko as opposed to running the Cool Boys for everything else. But with only a few weeks left to go, and people wanting to play everything in anything nowadays, we shall see how good it truly is. With BT22 dealing out more DM support, today we have Vegemon. Play cost of 3, 3000 DP, Digivolves from green level 3 for a cost of 2, or the DM trait for a cost of 2. End of your turn, once per turn, by placing 3 Digimon cards with the version 2 trait from your trash face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards, it may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the version 2 trait in the hand or trash, which is, as I've said before, a very good effect. Inherited effect, Piercing, that's always a good effect, but coming in just in time for the version 2 DM line, Vadermon. Play cost of 8, 8000 DP, Digivolves from a black, level 4 for a cost of 4, Digivolves from a Vegemon for a cost of 3, or a level 4 with the DM trait for a cost of 4. When any of your version 2 Digimon would Digivolve into this card, for each of its face down Digivolution cards, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1, which makes it fairly easy to get into. Fragment 3, used by Pyramidimon and its crew. When this Digimon would be deleted, by trashing any 3 of its Digivolution cards, it isn't deleted. This would include in battle and by card effect. When Digivolving, when attacking once per turn, Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon, then by trashing this Digimon's bottom face down Digivolution card, return one of your opponent's play cost 4 or lower Digimon, or Tamers, to the hand. That's pretty darn good. Inherit effect, opponent's turn, once per turn, when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may change the attack target to this Digimon, which is also a fairly good inheritable effect. With BT22 showing off the blue level 7, I was expecting the yellow level 7 to come through, but what I wasn't expecting was Puss in Boots. Nyan Bootsmon, play cost of 14, 14,000 DP, Digivolves for a cost of 4 from a yellow level 6, or you have an Ariser on the field and a Chaperone Mon for a cost of 6. Keyword Overclock for puppets. When Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or level puppet trait Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost. Then, to one of your opponent's Digimon, give minus 3000 DP until their turn ends for each of your Digimon. All turns, once per turn, when any of your other Digimon are deleted, you may activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effects. Overall, a fairly good card, while wanting to be aggressive while also keeping a little bit of control on your side of the board, especially for going wide, which puppets are known to do. A brand new Chaperone coming in for a play cost of 7, 7000 DP. Digivolves from a level 4 yellow for a cost of 3. And then hand, main, if you have a Riser, by placing 1 Shumon from your trash as any of your Shumon's bottom Digivolution cards, it Digivolves into this card for a Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring Digivolution requirements, with the Overclock Puppet trait. Inherited effect all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by your effects. By deleting one of your tokens or other puppet trait Digimon, it doesn't leave, which has become a considerate thing with the puppets. And then finally, one of the cards we didn't expect to be coming until we saw yesterday's reveals through the webcomic, Unique Emblem, Fabled Waltz. Hey! For a use cost of 3, Main, you may play one Shumon or Ariza from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then place this card in the battle area, which is a very good effect. Your turn, when any of your Ariza suspend, delay. One of your puppet traded Digimon may digivolve into a Puppet and Liberator trait Digimon card in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 3. Security, activate the main effect. Honestly, a really good card. I think it will see play. It can come in foil, as it is easily uncommon. Let's just see what DigiDread can do for us today. With the Liberators comic coming out today we saw ourselves a brand new level 7 Digimon, Ariamon. For a play cost of 14,000 DP, Digivolves were level 6 for a cost of 4, or Digivolve while you have a Yao and a Marine Bull for a cost of 6. Decode 6 or lower with the Aqua or Sea animal in any of its traits. When Digivolving, you may play one of each, a level 3, a level 4, and a level 5 Digimon card with the Aqua or Sea animal in any of its traits from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. When Digivolving, when attacking, once per turn, by placing one of your other Digimon as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck, and this Digimon unsuspends. This is a good card. I don't know if it will be what the deck needs to be viable or survives, but with that being said, with access to some of the most insane support that this deck can have, with the Hakuamons coming in from both 18 and from EX6, there's definitely a build out there where you're going to be swinging for at least 4 in one turn. But we also saw the newest option today. Unique emblem, Poseidea Lagoon. The water emblem for Liberators. For a use cost of 3, main, you may play one Sangamon or Yao from your hand or trash without paying the cost, then place this card in the battle area, which is a really strong ability, especially in blue. Doesn't have a lot of access to trash negately. Your turn, when any of your Yao suspend, delay. One of your Digimon with the Aqua Sea animal in any of its traits may digivolve into an Aquatic Liberator trait Digimon card in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 3. And with how the level 7 works, there's a good chance that this will get you into that level 7 for a cost of 3. And with Marine Ball finally being fully revealed, play cost 7, 7,000 DP, Digivolves from a blue level 4 for a cost of 3. Hand main. If you have Yao, by placing one Xiaomon from your trash as any of your Sangamon's bottom Digivolution cards, it digivolves into this card for a Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring Digivolution requirements, but has Decode as a keyword. Always considered aquatic. Inheritance effect, end of attack once per turn, you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon card with the Aqua or Sea animal in any of its traits from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. Overall, a fairly good card, but I really do want to see the most broken stuff we can with this line, or at least this archetype. With BT22 carrying on what PB22 left off with, today we have ourselves a new Ariza. For a play cost of 3, start off your main phase. By returning this tamer to the bottom of the deck, you may play one Ariza from your hand without paying the cost. Then, if you don't have a Digimon, you may play one Shumon from the trash without paying the cost, which is a fairly good effect. All turns when any of your tokens or puppet trait Digimon are played, by suspending this tamer, draw 1, which actually makes sense to what the BT22 Cinderella wants to do. But I don't think she'll be taking the place of Mirai, as Mirai is actually just too darn good. Yao coming in with a brand new card here. I was kind of hoping to give you Alliance, but nonetheless. For a play cost of 3, start of your main phase, by returning this tamer to the bottom of the deck, you may play one Yao from your hand without paying the cost. Then, if you don't have a Digimon, you may play one Sangamon from the trash without paying the cost. A fairly good effect. All turns, when effects add Digimon cards to any of your Digimon with the Aqua or Sea animal in their traits, by suspending this tamer, draw 1 card. Again, the same as Ariza. The difference being that Yao doesn't have a friend in need who can help her switch between plays, but is a fairly good card. Now, with what we've seen, that I haven't currently revealed on the channel yet, because I'm still waiting for the arts to be officially revealed, the deck doesn't seem to be doing too much in my opinion. We could have really done with some sort of alliance. And with BT22 wrapping up already, Uranusmon is coming here in their lovely alternate art form. Looking pretty cool here, like a mixture between a Origin and a Zeus. I look forward to picking this up if I can for those pesky yellow Atmon, who seem to be pretty darn cool. With BT22 saying Bon Voyage, today's the day we get the last 3 cards revealed. With the second secret rare coming in as Sayo, yes, that's Sayo. For a play cost of 4, start of your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain that memory. Your turn. When one of your Digimon with 2 or more same level cards in its stack attacks, by suspending this tamer, Digivolve it into a Digimon card with the Nightclaw, Light Fang, Galaxy, or CS trait in the trash with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. God, that's a good card. Really good. She's going to be expensive. But to finish it off, we also got Lekismon today. For a play cost of 5, 6000 DP, Digivolves me blue, purple, level 3 for a cost of 3. Or Nightclaw, Light Fang, CS trait for a cost of 2. Yes, we're looping. When Digivolving, if this card stack has 2 or more same level cards, you may play one tamer with the Nightclaw or Light Fang trait from your hand without paying the cost. You know what that means. This effect can't play cards with the same name as any of your tamers. Uh-oh. I'm sure there might be some jiggling about you can do with the red tamer and Sayo, so I'm sure they'll figure something out. The Heritage effect, all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon with the Nightclaw, Light Fang or Galaxy trait would be deleted by trashing 2 of the same level cards from the Digivolution cards. It isn't deleted. Hello Agurumon. Hello Gurumon. Hello Gabumon X. And finally, Cresymon. For a play cost of 7, 7000 DP, will Digivolve for a cost of 4 from a blue or purple level 4. Or Digivolve from a level 4 with the Nightclaw, Light Fang CS trait for a cost of 3. Keyword jamming, which is pretty good, but you will generally be having jamming in your sources, if not multiple of it. Hello Gelga. When Digivolving, draw 1 and trash 1 card in hand. Then, if this Digimon stack has 2 or more same level cards, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until their turn ends. You ain't blocking me, son. Heritage effect, all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon with the Nightclaw, Light Fang or Galaxy trait would be deleted by trashing 2 same level cards from its Digivolution cards. It isn't deleted. It's a good effect. Nonetheless though, I like Galaxy. This is good support. CS is decent support. Say is really good support. I look forward to playing this in the near future. Please forgive me. With Bandai, jumping straight in with BT22's alternate arts, kind of well before it's going to be coming out, today we have a special guest in Hirata. Not only does he receive a handsome, if not gorgeous, looking alternate art here, trying to deep dive into your mind, he also receives an SP, which, I'm going to be honest, it's really cool. I like it. It's got that nice Persona-esque style, I'm going to say, as it does have that cool, vibrant flow to it, while also having the deep layers, all within a 2D frame. And we also get to have a look at the evidence of this in English, in its actual alternate artness, which SP challenge accepted. Hopefully we'll get one of these. We're going to change it up a little bit here. We're going to show off some Jimmy Ken rocking out in the digital space that we know him for. A lot of people complain that this is a very basic looking alternate art, but at the same time, it's Jimmy Ken. It's not like he's doing anything crazy in the games. He's just kind of Jimmy Kenin over there in the rock space. But as a generic looking alternate art, it's still fairly nice. It's got a nice background to it. Stars in the sky, data, digital plan, and of course our rocket Jimmy Ken. Looking cool, ready to rock out with his flames out. And we're going to change it up here one last time. We have Leopardmon Ace. Looking more sinister than usual with the glowing red eyes from its leopard helm. But I think this is really cool, and I'm kind of looking forward to trying Roll Knights again. Maybe at some point I'll put that deck together, but Leopardmon Ace looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of the SPs, which should be here fairly soon. With Bandai digging deeper ever so more for some of these beautiful alternate arts for BT22, today we see Nokia. Standing tall, strong and firm, arms crossed, with her mighty Omnimon standing behind her. Oh, this is Omnimon's altar. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I think we all saw this coming as we knew it was getting revealed as of the original revealings earlier this year. But I think a lot of people thought this was going to be the scene of Nokia's growth as a character. Very similar to how we saw those in BT11. But jokes aside, let's actually look at some of Nokia's alternate arts today. With her, Gabumon and Agumon having fun, and getting ready to be the best of pals as they go through this adventure together. And then we have this psychedelic, our war game style, Greymon, Gurumon in the background, data flowing and vibing, with Nokia front and centre. Fairly nice SP in my opinion. Not going to want to pay the price it's going to be worth though. And then finally today, we have ourselves a Mirai. The office-ready lady hitching her skirt up, trying to distract us from the Rena we see behind her own name. Despite the fact there is some weird mistakes on this card, the card looks amazing, as do all of Miri's cards, because it is Miri, digital goddess that she has to be. Now, will I be picking one of these up? Probably not if the price of this is £50+. But I will look forward to picking up a rare copy of Mirai and trying my best to make Angie Woman, Lady Devmon and Mastimon work in the near future. With the last days of summer already here for the UK, it's time to look at the alternate arts for BT22. With Amy coming in, with Pete resting in the background, this is quite a charming little alternate art as we enter ourselves into the digital space. There really isn't much to say here, but it is quite quaint. The SP on the other hand is a full-on mind gore of what we should expect from the CS deck. Terriermons, Palmons and Hagurimons getting thrown at you left, right and centre, swooping and looping and dancing like there's a fire in their pants. Especially if to go against Jim again. And now, she's so nice we had to see her twice. It's Mirai, but actually the correct version that isn't trying to hide a Rena in plain sight. Hopefully this is what we will see when BT22 actually turns up. From one cybergirl to another, Kyoko comes here in her agency, possibly putting fresh roe in her coffee. But it's still a fairly good artwork, especially when the soul of the coffee is leaving the art. And finally for today's reveals, we have ourselves Alphamon, the true form of Kyoko. Lovely artwork here with the silhouette in the background in gold of Kyoko. It just goes to show that I will still for always be a simp to Toonami. With Bandai releasing more of the alternate arts from BT22, today we have Yuko leading the march. In the alternate art, looking very barren, you can see that she's reaching out to the hand of possibly Amy as our main character protagonist here. As you may notice, there are books falling all around and a bookcase full of books floating in the background, which is very reminiscent of the alternate art we got yesterday for Amy inside the agency. The alternate art here though is very symbolic and synergistic with the idea that Yuko plays two parts. Not only is the tamer for Galmon, but also as Eve. As you can see, she loses her essence when she becomes devoid of colour. Very similar to how the Eaters are working. Checking out the actual SP visual art though, you can see it's much less clear of the alternate art's background intent, but as you can also see though, it is definitely guided off by the patternage. Rika Shibi coming in here as some kind of weird daywalker, doing her usual thing. Not too much to say here, she's just walking through the shop, being a menace to society as per usual. And last but not least for today, I would have thought it would have been Lord Nightmon, as we did get Ree's reveal earlier. But at the same time, it does seem to be Akemi's time to shine. With the pattern very similar to those of the Eaters, you can definitely see their influence upon Akemi in this alternate art. With BT22 continuing its run with the alternate art cards, today we have Yugo turning up out of nowhere. Now, a lot of people do seem to be a little bit annoyed by Yugo being here, as it is a uncommon card with an alternate art, but we did know from the start that a lot of the tamers would be receiving alternate arts. And I do enjoy alternate arts that suck you into the storyline, such as Yugo here escaping into the digital world, maybe never to be seen again. The biggest thing though is the fact that we do have this cool looking artwork for Yugo as the SP for the set. As it is an uncommon, it's very rare to see something like this, but we have had rare SPs and now we're having ourselves an uncommon SP. Maybe soon we'll have ourselves a common SP, which the irony is not lost on me what that is. Thank you, series. But the actual in-person artwork does look absolutely gorgeous. Every ripple in here is a snake-like scale, slithering and sliding itself around, trapping Yugo into the dimension with the Eaters. But our girl Sayo is here to save the day, maybe sometime later in the DLC. Looking pretty cool here. I know her artwork isn't really crazy compared to the others, but it's a very nice, very clean artwork, and it just shows off Sayo in her Nightclaw glory, which, yeah, I'll be picking these up. As well as her bestest buddy old pal, Dianamon, looking very, very tall. Wonderful looking artwork here, very similar to the artwork we got from EX5 in style and design. I'm super looking forward to playing Galaxy. Hopefully I will see you out there too, Tamers, enjoying yourselves in the stars and the sky. With BT22's alternate arts fully revealed, but not quite fully sent out to us now, we have Nyan Bootsman. A very interesting take on the fairy tale story that this deck wants to present to you. But the image itself presents more than just a theory. It's an army of cat support. With Pete, the Wanyamon, Nyan Boots leading the front, Gatomon, cat in gloves, and a cloudy baby form of Neuromon in the back. Lovely alternate overall, and as you can see with the sword, it's actually a cat toy. I'm looking forward to seeing how good this deck will be in the near future. With Araimon coming in, showing off that they are the Queen or Empress of the Ocean, supported by Shellmon's giant shell as a hat, with Dolphinmon sitting there watching as she whisks around the ocean. Beautiful artwork here. I'm also hoping that the Sea Animal Aqua deck can actually take charge, as it has been suffering from a lack of true identity. And then last but not least for just today, as we should have one more reveals coming tomorrow, Kyoko coming in that Chase Gold rarity that we know of, with the essence of Alphamon spreading back and forth. The black, the gold, the white, and the ruby glasses. Beautifully done, and how a chase should be. If we can get more of these in the future, I think a lot of us will be very happy. And as always, let's just look at the actual physical card they have presented to us. With the glass-like appearance of the Alphamon behind the Kyoko, I honestly do believe this might be the best work we've seen so far. With BT22 actually coming to an end now, technically, with the alternate arts, today we have both Rina's alternate art and the alternate art for everyone's favourite level 6 Beamon Big Boy. Rina, depicted here doing the Rina Rider kick straight through Balmon's face, is an iconic scene that we all know and love. But I do wish that given Rina a little bit more decorum in this pose. But on the other hand, we do have All Force Vujamon looking very dashing and knightly, ready to fight for the right to part A. But this is the end of our alternate arts from this set, besides the few box toppers that will be coming shortly down the line. I hope you're also looking forward to the familiar tokens as much as I am. Today is probably the last reveals we will see from BT22, which means I will have to start making real content again. Please have sympathy for me and my needs. But we're going to change it up a little bit here today. We're going to do it in colour order as opposed to the usual release order. So, without further ado, we have Sangamon. Sangamon here, lovely cartoonized water style picture, which kind of makes sense as he is currently playing with himself. He's a coral. He's playing in the coral. But something you may notice from all the artworks with Sangamon is that orange fish there always seems to hang around with him, as well as the rest of the line as they digivolve up and around. As you may see in the background though, we do have access to the lovely little trainings, as well as Shellmon trying to munch away on some of them. God damn it, Shellmon, please behave yourself. In this scene we seem to have a Dracomon and an Impmon looking for a Shoemon, or Shoemon somehow sneaks away up the wall. This gives me some weird reminiscence of a Simpsons sketch from back in the day for sneaking. The familiar token looking pretty cool here. I have to say I do really like the Sendril in the back there, just doing the whole ha 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 pose. Although the pilot and plane motif here with the bird does give me some kind of reminiscence of Miraidon from Pokemon. Maybe they heard that he was a pretty good bike, maybe also a pretty darn good aeroplane. Then we come to Terriermon, jumping through the digital world with his bestest buddies Gabumon and Agumon. Nothing much to say about these arts coming forwards, as it is just them jumping through the digital gates to go from one place to another, but they all seem to have something in common, and that would be Agumon and Gabumon. Palmon here though in a much more fun oriented world with a giant stuffed animal, and then followed shortly by Hagurimon attacking what seems to be some kind of giant Rock'em Sock'em
robot. But this is it for reveals. I hope you've enjoyed this run. See you in the omnibus.
With BT22 just around the corner, it's time for our annual What Shall I Pick Up If I'm Not Really Looking at the Set. Honourable mentions will go to the Volume 2 TP packs that we do receive from the start of July, so not technically part of BT22, but definitely a good lead into it. With Demi Vmon, Dimitrimon, Tweetmon, Apollomon Ace, Bakimon, as well as the Wicked God Emerges, these are some pretty good substantial promos to pick up, so don't forget to pick these up when you're playing your locals. Coming in as the number 5, I would honestly say pick up this Mother Eater. I do feel like it will gain more support in the future, and with EX10 being the big bad villain set, there's a good chance that Mother Eater will have some more cards to play with in the coming weeks. Number 4, I recommend picking up the Shumon and Sangamon line if you can. I understand that not everyone can pick up the SRs willy-nilly, but at the same time, both of these decks do receive some much needed support and upgrades to those decks, especially looking at you puppets. Number 3, CS. Surprisingly enough, CS does become more like the Galaxy engine that we know and somewhat hate. No hate to me, please. But some of these CS cards actually work really well with the current decks that are available, such as Galaxy. So maybe you should pick up some of these commons before they just disappear forever. Coming in at number 2, I would recommend picking up the new Atmon support. Being it is its own deck, but Hero Atmon did just win another regional this weekend over in Bordeaux. And you probably saw this coming, pick up your secret rare tamers. If it's anything like the past, where these prices just skyrocket after a small amount of time, looking at you finals, maybe the pre-release prices won't be too bad. But maybe we should wait at least a week.